since 2019, Sri Lanka has been walking from one challenge to the other. I believe the insurance industry has been quite dynamic. People who are highly literate in finance would not want to insure the vehicle at the right value. Gen Z and the alphas will change it. If we can build an insurance literate population, that's going to be a huge support to the country as well, because we will be self-sufficient in order to look after our own. They have spent 2.5 billion to give school book to about 40% of the schools in this country.
Hi everyone, and today we're going to talk about Sri Lanka's insurance market. And joining me to discuss this is Chandana L, Aluthgama, Executive Director and Principal Officer of LOLC Life Assurance and Director of the LOCL General Insurance. Hi Chandana.
Hi, how are you?
Sri Lanka's insurance market is undergoing notable shifts. There are technological changes, there are regulatory changes, there are economic changes. Consumers are changing the way they consume insurance. What is your outlook for both the life and general insurance sectors, and what key macro trends are influencing this?
I think, Imran, that's a lovely question to start with, because ever since 2019, Sri Lanka has been walking in from one challenge to the other, and the economic challenges, all that, I believe the insurance industry has been quite dynamic, and they have been navigating the macroeconomic volatilities with a lot of sentiments. And if you look at the life insurance sector, yes, we are quite underpenetrated in the market, but at the same time, there are a few reasons as to why this growth also has not come in. But having said that, we have seen slight growth momentums from 23, where the life insurance market grew, I think, around 10%, increase in 2024 to around 20%, and even to date, they are holding on to the same growth momentum. So there is hope in that. And also, if you look at the general insurance market also, the penetration would be almost the same, is about 0.8% of GDP. And the biggest challenge the GI market is having would be there aren't many new projects starting in the country. Recently, the vehicle markets have been open, so there is some churn happening there. And at the same time, the cost of repair as well as medical cost have gone, it's escalated quite high, and I believe those are challenges. With that, we will also have the regulatory changes coming in. We see the regulator is also playing a key role these days, trying to increase the penetration, make awareness in the market. At the same time, bring in certain rules and regulations to strengthen the organizations as well as give maximum security to the customers. Then on the other side, we will have the IFRS 17 kicking in 2026. Then the customer demands, we have seen slight shifts from predominantly a endowment policy. It's changing either to a medical policy or to a whole life policy. So there could be reasons why, even though after experiencing the pandemic and other economic issues, people are, I think, talking more than usual about insurance. But at the same time, a long-term commitment for life insurance is still a question mark. There are a couple of reasons for that, because one is we are blessed we have a lot of friends and family and neighbors comparing to anywhere else. So sometimes we take it for granted that whenever something happens, look, I don't need insurance, but I can give a call to my friend and he'll be there. Probably is one reason why we are not a self-dependent nation, but we are a dependent nation. So insurance comes at the lower end of the basket, and despite other priorities, insurance sometimes goes unnoticed. But we have also seen there is even the growth rates say that there have been interest and increase purchase of insurance policies for both life as well as general, the liability insurances, medical insurance, then even home insurance, we see there's a slight churn. And of course, the motor insurance, we see with the new influx of motor, there is a huge demand being created.
You spoke about the low penetration is something I've heard for like a long time. We are a low penetration country. Why is that?
Well, when you say the low penetration, life stands at about 0.6, whereas I told you GI stands at about 0.8 in Sri Lanka as at last year. If you look at India, I would say it's around 3.8, just under 4%. And if you take Singapore, it's in the region of 6%. So when comparatively the lifestyle, the per capita, all that, you will see Sri Lanka also is lagging way behind that. So one main reason would be that we wouldn't feel the importance of insurance, maybe because of our culture, as I told you. So that's one reason. And the other reason is that long-term commitment, where people feel that, I don't want to make a long-term commitment. Probably the literacy as well, because if you take the financial literacy, I think in this country it's about 57.8%. But insurance is included there, but I would want to detach that, because when it comes to insurance literacy, it's way below that. Because sometimes we have people who highly literate in finance would not want to insure the vehicle at the right value, right? So that means that understanding is not there in insurance, being a complex subject. So those are some of the reasons I think why it's a low penetrated market. But I believe in time to come, if at least not for us, the Gen Z and the Alphas will change it.
Absolutely.
Because they are more dependent. I mean, I'm sure we have seen that happening. They behave differently. So I think that's where insurance will kickstart. But at the same time, the distribution also will have to be different.
Very interesting. Because I think also in terms of, nuclear families are now splitting. We're going to more individual households. I think hopefully consumption will pick up, because I think it's very important to have a robust insurance sector in the country. You spoke about the recent economic challenges from 2019, ISIS under attack, then you had the COVID, then you had the economic crisis. In this country has seen it all, right? Has that changed attitude to protection, the attitude to risk-taking from an individual and corporate perspective? And how are you all adapting to that?
See, from the feedback we get from the ground level sales staff, as well as looking at the growth rates, even if you take the general insurance, grew up at about 2% in 2023, but it jumped to 10% in 2024. And right now, again, they're maintaining the same growth momentum. So which means there is despite being huge developments taking place, despite there being huge investment opportunities, despite there being revenue increase in your income, we see people are, getting into it. I feel, yes, they have understood the need of insurance. So more than what they probably would want to believe some time back. But at the same time, again, some of those, as well as a long-term commitment, priorities over various other non-essential items seem to be still holding on, because I think, just imagine, you just said from 2019, the East attacks. I mean, we have been having drama after drama, right?
Exactly.
But I think as Sri Lankans, the happiness index has been always constant. So therefore, we are used to a particular pattern of living, and I don't think we would want to change that to buy an insurance policy. So that's another challenge. So we need to create products as insurers, I think, more towards the need. And we have seen in the recent past, some of the companies are coming up with certain products where even like the medical products to the investment products and whole life products, where people are more worried about how to continue their kids' education.
Right.
So those are some of the areas I think which will pick up faster. Yes, for your question, there has been a better interest level expressed, but at the same time, Industry also will have to do certain things in order to maximize the full potential.
The LOLC group and particularly their insurance arm, right? LOLC Life Assurance and LOLC General Insurance have been two of the fastest growing companies around in this industry. What sort of policies and transformative solutions have you sort of put in place to enable this growth?
So actually, before that, when you talk the brand LOLC, it's a company which has been there over 4 decades in the country. And now we are present in 27 countries. So we are serving multinationals. If you look at the staff strength, 55,000 staff. And this is the strength where I think even a company like LOLC Insurance, which is like 10 years old, has been able to grow at a faster speed because of it's a community, LOLC community. Because if you take, we are in like 9 diversified areas. You take agriculture, majority of the agriculture vehicles are being sourced by Browns. And so, I mean, there are a lot of areas where we have the nexus. Still, I would say, we have not capitalized the entire, but this has been one of the main reasons why it's growing. And also as a company, young company, we have got certain digital platforms in place where we are even trying to use AI in terms of giving, for example, customers, the biggest problem in the insurance industry is the product or the policies, it's a jargon, right? So we're wondering whether we can give them a summary version through using AI, things like that. So, and also we have a young team, right? And at the same time, the backing of the parent. So I think that's where we have been able to grow, and also the future growth trajectory also would be built on the same.
Change is very constant, whether it is technology, whether it's regulation, whether it's customer expectations. How do you keep up with that, and how do you prioritize what you should focus on?
If you look at from a regulatory perspective, you need to have your compliance proper. So I believe we have a proper compliance framework, even on the new IFRS 17 implementations. I know both Life and the GI finance team, they are working hard on that. But at the same time, you have the demands of the stakeholders, starting from our customers. So all that we have to ensure we deliver. So we are also these days trying to develop a corporate strategy, envisaging the short term and medium to long term. So in that, we want to encapsulate how we would want to take our product to the customer, and how transparent and trust we need to build in the customer, because insurance is all about trust, and how our systems and procedures should be there in order to support that. So I think the future also there will be various demands from different customer segments. So whilst we are trying to cater to the new generation, we should also not forget the current generation. So we should have sort of a hybrid situation. So we were just having a chat yesterday as well with some young analysts, saying that how we should cater the strategy to cater to both parties.
The LOLC group itself is synonymous with excellence. And your two insurance companies, LOLC Life Assurance and LOLC General Insurance, put excellence at the heart of everything you do. How have you embedded excellence across the various aspects of your culture, performance, remuneration, etc.?
I think if I start by saying LOLC is a group where we are with a purpose to empower the people, as well as bringing the true potential of the nation. So when we talk about that, creating excellence means that we'll have to create excellence at all areas. Starting entire value chain should have that. If one value chain, one element lags it, then we will break it down for. So if I just segregate it to two areas, this is an area where I'm also been doing a little research. So the PO fit, the person organization fit, means how the person fits the organization. So the leadership to the motivation levels, the remuneration, as you say, their loyalty, all that you need to bring in together. So if the person organization fit is properly defined, then you can create excellence and value to the customer. So being today, the other important element is a technology organization fit. We need to have the technology, the people should fit the organization. Because today, according to Gartner, the research, they say that only 16%, after spending about $4 billion, only about 16% projects are perfectly in operation. So the main reason there is that technology organization fit is not there, because the IT experts would want to give the best possible system, but me as the user, I would want to change it completely to suit my own whims and fancies, right? So this has been going on. So therefore, we need to bring this right technology organization fit as well. So if we are to move forward, I think people, technology should also have a very clear correlation with the organizational objectives. And that will determine organizational excellence, which in turn will definitely give organizational excellence, will turn back into customer excellence.
Wonderful. Every organization has both a regulatory license to operate and a social license to operate. How has the LOLC Group and its insurance and assurance companies, taken its social license to operate to heart and incorporated that in your operation?
For somebody who had just joined the group, I can say that when I looked at some of the CSR projects, myself, I was really impressed, because they have spent 2.5 billion rupees for a project to give school books to about 40% of the schools in this country.
That's very impressive.
Since now there is a regulation saying the government is providing this, I don't know where it would be in going forward. But then until such time, LOLC has been in the forefront. So, I mean, that's only one, but there are so many CSR projects. And also insurance, by way, the word insurance is also supporting the nation, because if we can build an insurance literate population, that's going to be a huge support to the country as well, because we will be self-sufficient in order to look after our own medication, may be, or any other loss will be taken care of.
Final question is really around your own leadership. As a leader, how do you envision the long-term direction of LOLC's insurance portfolio? Which kind of strategic decisions are you prioritizing, and where do you see the group in the years ahead?
Firstly, I have to admire as a company which is just 10 years plus. They have done great. So that gratitude goes to people who have been there before, as well as people who have tirelessly put in their efforts to bring the company to where it is. But going towards the next phase of growth, I think we need to be more organized. So that's what we are right now doing. We are also, as I told you, we are engaging in the corporate plan. We want to have a very clear direction and an agile plan where it will meet the market demands. And also to see how, because LOLC, again, is a community, right? So we are in so many community pockets, but how can we get into the insurance business in those community pockets? So that's another way. And also, I feel at the same time, you need to develop the younger lines, the next lines, to take the leadership in time to come. So the HR aspect is also very important. So we are already discussing about training groups. And then, which is a no-brainer, the digital journey. The company is very, very keen. Even the company is into technology, and we are discussing how we can bring certain things and use tools like AI, of course, with a human meaning,
Of course.
how we could, interface them into our business. So there are, I think, very interesting plans, and also we are selling insurance in certain other parts of the world right now.
Exciting.
So need to see how we could capitalize on that.
And any growth plans overseas?
Well, yes, right now we would want to make certain changes to the existing ones.
Right.
And but I think first we need to be very clear what we are going to do in the short run and the medium run before we embark on any other new project.
Excellent. Chandana, Aluthgama, thank you for sharing the LOLC insurance story.
Thank you very much. Pleasure was all mine being here.